The customer states they just received this mower from, it's a hand-me-down, from someone that used to fix mowers. And so hopefully we have a viable candidate here. When they dropped it off, he tried to start it and pulled it maybe 4 times. Well, he said it would start and die. And then upon bringing it here, said it tried to start it and it wouldn't start. So we didn't try any further than that because it's obviously going to need something. Just giving it a quick look over. We got oil and it is really dirty and gray, brown, gray. I think he said he put fuel. Yep, plenty of fuel in there. Haven't had a chance to look underneath anywhere. I see a couple weird things already. This is bent up. Now, even if I put that in the lowest setting, I don't know if you could sense the angle on that, but I think the angle is supposed to be more down here. So how that got bent, it seems to be bent to me. I don't know. That's kind of weird. Got a few chafed strands on the rope. We have mega rigging on the engine kill. Why is there 2 cables here? Unsure. Let's see. One. Oh, wow. Yeah, we got some other problems here. Possible cable damage. That cable's kinked. This cable here is okay. That's the only one that is. And that's for the very drive. So that's probably good because that's likely the harder one to replace. Because you'd have to get down in there to replace it. So let's see. Yeah, this cable comes from the handle down to there and then goes to whatever this is. Do not recognize that part. What is that? Is that for releasing a bag or something? Very strange. And the other one goes to the engine kill, which is normal, but I don't understand the second one. If I activate the handle, it's pulling down on that. I literally have never seen that. I don't know what that is yet. Let's see, grass door, springs working good there. Anyway, I think first we'll see if we have a viable engine before we go any further with looking at these cables and if the Easy Walk works at all. No reason to go any further if you don't have a good working engine. So let's start there. First things first, let's get a look at this air filter. Not terrible. Good. All right, I'm going to do my usual. Well, let's try to start it a couple times first. I'll try pulling on it. Then I'll add fuel. I suspect the carburetor, because I think it was sitting before it was given away, handed down. Let's start there. Let's see what we get. Just trying to do a regular start here. I have a microphone that's flying. Bear with me. Yeah, we're going nowhere. I'm not even getting a pop. Oh, I had you off frame there. Anyway, you could hear it if it started. Let's give it a little fuel in the form of carburetor cleaner or whatever you have that's flammable. It tried to pop there. Tried to pop there. I'm going to give it a little more. And this does not have the primer on it. Does not want to start. and it's a little hard to pull over. So I'm half suspicious about this rigged up cable assembly thing, which is full of tape. And is that pulling the engine kill all the way? Because it's pulling over seems to be a little harder than it should. Maybe I'm just imagining that, or maybe it's just because it hasn't run in a while. But let me try one more time. Yeah, I got nothing. So let's start with spark plug condition. See what we have there. The condition of that oil doesn't please me very much. Makes me think somebody hasn't cared for this in quite a long time, actually. At least as far as the oil goes. And that plug is absolutely wet and flooded. So we had fuel in there. It just didn't have any spark to spark it. Or is that oily residue? I'm going to open that gap just a little bit. It's a little tight. I'm going to pull it over a couple times, see if there's a bunch of stuff in there that I need to blow out. Doesn't look like there was any. Once that plug gets soaked through the electrode like that, from one point to another, it's never going to fire. Now let's see if that wants to go. Yes. Tried to go. Ran and died. So yeah, that was my starting fluid. So we can say pretty definitively there's a problem with the carburetor, most likely from sitting. So what I'm going to do is we're going to tip this in the up direction. So the oil is down, the fuel is up, so we don't have a big leak. And we'll take off this carburetor. I've just got the mower slightly tilted there, just to make it so I don't have to reach down here. That came right off the oil thing. I don't know if it was, well, it probably was really on there. It's pretty clean right there. But the fact there's a bunch of oil on the back of it makes me think maybe it wasn't, but I think it really was. Doesn't matter. Anyway, let me get some of those goobers out before they get thrown down the throat of that carburetor. It looks like this engine has some kind of an air vane choke system, or something that is activated upon when the engine starts. That thing moves out of the way and opens the choke. Kind of an interesting design. It's amazing, you know, the same engine probably that has the same block that has been used for years, how they put like one little new thing on there, and you know, you need a whole different carburetor. This is a whole different mechanism with the spring, and you know, it's kind of amazing how little they change, but yet they put little innovations on there. I think I have to take this top thing off to get this nut. Again, that's just a classic old Briggs engine. There's nothing special, but they make it look special by putting this, you know, plastic on the top. But underneath, the main components really are tried and true. that microphone fixed. That's kind of handy that you don't have to take that spring off necessarily to get this out. Try to get these fasteners exposed here so I can see what I'm looking at. I don't see any reason to pull the bowl right now. It's, you know, it's got to come off to get it cleaned up proper. You could go and look just to see if maybe there's just some water in there, but not gonna do it. We're gonna take it all the way off. When I go to take this fuel line off, then I'll tip this machine more so I won't have flow out. But for now, I want the easy access. Can I get in there with the regular? This one I can. This one, I'm going to need secondary tool. Now, I even need a longer extension for this. What is that? Oh, it's magnetized onto something. That one's easy. The other one, can I get it? Yeah, it will. Nice. Now I got my socket jammed in there. There we go. Trying to get this lever. It's a little hard to see which way it is because it's all full of junk. There we go. And then now here's where the fuel is going to come out. So we'll tip it up some more. Try to get my executive jack, which is just a bottle, jammed in there somehow. That's enough to hold a push mower. And I'm still probably going to have fuel coming out. I'm going to have to tip it basically on its side. That fuel tank is pretty full, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have flow even now. Or maybe, what if I hold it up like this? Then I wouldn't. Okay, that's what we're doing. There we go. Now I got to find a way to keep this up because the second I put that down, whoop, yep, thought so. Stick a marker in it. There we go. Multi-purpose marker. Oh, didn't realize I didn't have you in the shot there. I'm sorry. Got the carb off. All right, now that we're back in frame here, let's get this carburetor opened up. Ooh, that feels not good, those threads. Come on out of there. No, they're not too bad. Very simple carburetor. Definitely water there. I don't know if you can see that secondary stuff slushing around under there, but there's absolutely water in that. All right, we'll get this all cleaned up. This here is where you often have a problem on these Briggs. There's a little hole there, which connects to a little hole there where it sucks it up in. And if that is clogged, you will never run ever again. Make sure our float is floating. Yep, it's moving. Good. So the tools that'll help you besides carburetor cleaner are these welding torch tip cleaners. Come in a little pack here, and there's different sizes, different diameters. one of the smaller ones is what is usually required. And they just have little serrations on there to help clean out stuff. Also, a carburetor cleaning kit will come with these little brushes, which is hard to find any kind of brush that fits in anything. So it's nice to have these, because then you could go inside that emulsion tube and get all the boogers out of the inside. And that fits perfectly. And then for this, you're going to need one of the torch tip cleaners, because I don't even think the smallest brush here fits these little Briggs. If a larger engine, larger horsepower, would have a larger fluid passage, of course. But here we have a plenty small enough. And that's free from side to side. But I'll bet you right here, yep, I feel some boogers in there. So I'll flush those out with the carburetor cleaner last. You could just use air too if you're sure you got it clean. Maybe I can even go up a couple sizes here. Let's see. Not that one. So only the first and second size of this set fits. Or no, maybe there was some more. Off to the side, I missed them. Yep. So yeah, one of the bigger ones did fit. Just punch through both ways, get all the junk, flush that out. I'm not expecting this one to be too bad, because I don't see a lot of corrosion in here. It hasn't been for a long time like this, so I don't expect this to be internally clogged. The carburetor passages are quite small, but I will be blowing through all the little ports and up through there with some carburetor cleaner. Get that gasket out of there before I get that soaked with carb cleaner. Yep, that's clear and free, and I'll go back the other way just to make sure everything's good. Yep. Excellent. Feel pretty good about that. There, it comes out the side. Thought it was clogged both ways there for a minute. I'm going to go one more time through that with the brush just to make sure. Wrong brush. Where's the tiny one? Did it fall off of this? No, there it is. Yeah, you can't really get the smallest one through. Okay. Reassemble. Get some of this crud off of here. All that is just built up corrosion from the aluminum. Gasket's a little swollen, but it's workable. Didn't get it to start threading. Oh, and our gasket, of course. That would have been bad. I just realized I'm in the way of the sun there for your filming pleasure. Get out of there. All right, let's go put this back on. All right, get our little handy marker. That was a fuel shut off. get that lever that's under my finger here back in there. Actuator rod. Easier said than done. There it goes. Nope, you go under. And I'm leaking fuel because I was tipping the carburetor. Don't have to tighten those terrible much because there was an O-ring on the tube that leads into the intake. Yep, everything rolls. This has got to go in the notch. There we go. 1/4 inch. Make sure that still rolls freely. It does. The gasket is still on there. We're going to reuse it. Just make sure that debris doesn't try to get sucked into the carburetor as we're doing this. This hose goes into that. Get my tools set up here. 5/16. Nice. This has got 3 tabs. Get those engaged and it just tips up. I'm going to put this down so it's not in my way. Looks like this part goes under that, or you could take that off and put it on last. I suppose same difference. Okay. Back to the Phillips bit. All right, ready for a start once I get this back on the ground fully. Let's see what this thing can do. Uh-oh, runs and dies. That was the very first problem he described. Let's try it again. Folks, that is odd. I killed it, but then I tried to save it. Yeah, runs and dies. Really strange, folks. Could it be the way that choke works? It's kicking off too early and then not running because it needs choke for a little longer. That automatic choke fouled up on it? Or is it something else? Very odd. Very odd. This would be a mystery. Okay, so I was just looking at the front. I was just looking to make sure the spark plug was on all the way. And I noticed this. That's oil. Let me get you out of the sun there. Try to get you the shot. That's oil down there. And if you look here, around this bolt, there is seeping oil coming out. And also from that one. Now, I know I just had it tipped to that side. But why do I have so much... why do I have oil enough that it's dripping out? Is that head loose on that engine, or do we have a blown head gasket, or what? Something funny is going on here. That shouldn't be able to get... oil shouldn't be able to drip out of there. Some mystery unexplained as of yet. Look what I just found in the grass as I was rolling the mower back. That O-ring fell off. Maybe it was visible in the video. I didn't realize that. So it's sucking air through the side of the carburetor. So that would make sense with a bad running condition. Carburetor coming back off. I understand that doesn't explain the oil loss. But if it runs, we may not have to chase those other problems. They may not be as significant as they originally seem. Okay, it's looking a little homely at the moment, but what I want to check is, well, does it run now with the proper gasket, which it should be running better. But if not, I want to have a look at that choke to see how quickly that opens. And if we have to, I can lock it closed to get it to start and see if that's the issue. If that's the issue, we may have to change the tension on that spring to make it close quicker or slower. Okay, running now, staying running, but backfiring through the carb a little bit, and really hunting up and down quite a bit, really lacking power. So more diagnosis to be done. All right, let's just eliminate the easy stuff. Let's put a brand new plug in there. We may have to go deep into this thing. Let's see what else is going on, but let's start with the simple stuff. Get that new spark plug in there. See if that does any difference for us. And it will run a little different without the air cleaner too, but I'm just trying to leave that off for now. It does give it a little restriction. This thing's got issues, man. That plug is dry, not wet. So it seems like we have good spark, but I don't know. This one's got me scratching my head so far. I mean, we see several different symptoms here of different things. I'm going to put this around, try to find a way to shade this and see if I can see that spark. If I'm losing, I can't figure out if I'm losing spark or is that head gasket that blown that I have no compression? Could be a lot of things, really. Could be the coil, could be the flywheel case partially sheared. I just don't understand all the backfiring and, on the few times that I can get it to run. Right now, I can't get it to run. The things I'm questioning is how much throw am I getting on that with that damaged cable? When I'm pulling the mower off the ground to try to start it, am I pulling it a little more and then when it starts I let it down and then it relaxes a little or something and kills the engine from the electric kill? It's got a kill switch under here. I'm trying to rule things out, so I'm going to activate that to its full position, lock it in that position, and see if it acts any different. See if I can pull the handle. Can I pull this by hand? I think I can. Let me get the zip tie set up. Let me make sure it goes all the way open. Now let's see if it runs any different. Take my spark checker off so we get the true test. Got you in the shot there. Kinda. There you go, folks. Their Johnny Fix-It fixes here are not pulling this safety shutoff. It's a brake that goes onto the flywheel, and it's also an electrical contact that shorts out the coil. Was just on the edge of being pulled open properly and was not pulling it open properly all the time. Now it runs like a new mower. Beautiful. Got the airbox filter back in, put that back on, and then this thing goes in and this clip goes underneath there, and there's a little bump that goes into the groove there. So you just kind of give it a little angle there. She goes right on. Well, it looked easier on the YouTube video. There we go. Single shot, no cutaway. Let's get this, got a little grass out of there. Get this door to shut. I'm going to hit the lock. It's got a lock there. Oh, somebody had it already locked. I don't know why it won't go. There. Now nobody can play with that. Good. Now what I'm going to do, because that oil was absolutely terrible looking, I'm going to run the engine for several minutes and get it all stirred up real good. And then I can drain out all the contaminants and we'll put some fresh oil in. And then our engine will be working. Look at the color of that oil. It's like brown. It's not black. It's just brown. Very, very thick too. I wonder if that's some additive they put in there. Okay, so as I showed on the first walk around, there's a few strands that are cut here, and that's where it's going to wear the most. So I'm just going to pull that up a little bit, tie a new knot, and cut off the bad part. Simple, but it will save the rope. This one actually, no, I'm not saving anything, but it could save the customer some trouble. This one actually has a crimp there, so it couldn't get sucked back in. if it does, you got to take that off and rewind it and, you know, put new. So it actually wouldn't go all the way back in, but the customer would have nothing to pull on. So let's just fix it before it breaks. Takes just a minute here. That's all we're doing, folks. Cut a little off. If we don't want that end to get all ratty, let's melt that with the little mini torch. That's all it takes. That nylon rope melts back into a little bit of a ball, so you're good to go. Okay, now that'll be more reliable. Now, upon looking at these cables more, the cable that's rigged the worst is the cable for this weird mechanism. So I'm not so worried about that. But the one that we're worried about is the one that goes here, which I currently have zip tied, and goes up and just has a little kink in it. But I can get the kink out easy enough. But the problem is what's going on up here. It needs to pull more. So let's see what's in here. Do we just replace the cable, or is this repairable, or what's going on here that they put all this tape? Okay, I've got a zip tie. I've got more tape. It's just not pulling enough, you know, like if I could get these shorter, yeah, even the rig job here might still work. Pretty amazing engineering, whoever did this with the zip tie. They even folded the tab underneath. Their best friend was the electrical tape. And I'm just trying not to get cut. Oh yeah. They just stuck it through the hole. That whole Z-bend thing is all jazzed up there. It just kind of falls out. That's why they did what they did. Okay. Not cool. So let me track which one hooks over the other, and then they go through the hole on the bar there, or the lever activator, not the bar. Let me track which one is which. The one for the shutoff activator is this one. That's the one that hooks to the other one. The one with the eyelet, I guess I'll call it. That's this one, the engine kill shutoff. And then this is for that weird lever thing that I don't know what it does. Yeah, it almost looks like, you can almost tell this one's like longer than this one is. That's interesting. So I'm just thinking, how can I get more pull on this? I could move this down, but then it would be too far if I had to make another hole. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this down, stick something up in this holder to make it not go up as far. Then I'll be in reality, the sheath will be pulled down and this will be tighter. Let me see if this comes out of there. I assume it does. Let me get some pliers, see if I can pull this down out of this holder, or if it's part of that holder. I don't think it is. Try to get you the shot there of what I'm looking at. So can this pull down out of there? The other one is definitely two-piece. But why won't this one come out? It might be molded in there. I don't really want to pop this out of there because I might snap that thing. It may be molded in there. I don't think it would have been, but maybe it comes with this pulley or this cable, and then you snap the other one into that holder. That's what I'm afraid of at this point. Okay, so we tried a few things that didn't work. I'm going to try now tipping this down, which should make this distance increase. It won't be a problem because that cable can actually it actually kind of comes in an uphill angle a little bit. It can adjust to whatever angle. There's plenty of play here. Also, one thing I just noticed as I was playing around, this is supposed to have a gasket down in there or a little seal. I don't know that it's in there because that seems to be very flippy floppy. So that will be bad because debris could get into your oil if that's not there. So I'll at least pull that out and look at it before we're done here. But I'm going to try bending this down. That's going to be the easiest way I know to get more throw. All right, now that opens properly. Now I'll pull the cable through how it's supposed to be up on the top so it's in a normal line there. And let's see what we have. Okay, I just found out what this does. This, when you open that back grass door that I have up here right now, it catches here. And then when you go to operate the mower, it'll pull the cable and release. Let's see which one. This one. Well, if it worked, if it wasn't all broken and stuff, it will release that grass door. So that one is completely unnecessary. So the good news is this one has an eyelet on it. Let me get the shot there. The one I need for the shutoff has the eyelet on it. That bar has a hole in it. So I can just bolt through that and disconnect the other thing that doesn't work anyway. The grass door automatic shutter thing. And I just might remove that off the machine so that can't be left open. I think that is to cock it open in the event that you want to put a bagger on there, that you don't have to hold that and then mount the bag at the same time. It's a safety device, so if you don't have the bag, it'll snap shut once you hit this, pull this lever. It will snap, close that lower chute door. That's what that does. I've never seen that before, but being that it doesn't work because this cable's all munched, it's not going to release properly anyway, so it'd be safer to have no latch down here. Remove that from the machine so it can't be left open. I don't think we're going to rebuild this whole machine. Most likely they didn't even have the bagger because I didn't see it in the transport vehicle, so it'll never be used in that way. It'll probably be just a mulcher. So here's the plan. There's a little clip here. We don't want that door to ever be able to be left open, and because that cable's not operating properly, it could possibly be left open. And short of buying new cables, which are probably more than it's worth, there's no other way to fix that cable, that broken one that's broken in the middle. Let me get a screwdriver to get on this. There's two clips here. One of them little guys. Let's take this off the machine so it can't cock that door open and leave it open. There we go. There's a spring on that I've taken off. We'll just remove this device from the machine completely. Here's where we got to make it work. I lessened the angle on that because it was kind of too much of an angle between here and here, and it would tear this up after a while. Okay, that's what we got there. I've taken off the cable assembly that wasn't working for the door holder. Here, I've taken the eyelet. Why want that focus today? I've taken the eyelet and the hole in the handle, put a bolt through that, nut on this side, and I've smashed down. I had an anvil over here, and I was smashing on the end of that thread so that can never unthread. And then now, I get a good pull on that. I think that's far enough. Now let's just verify that to make sure we have enough that it runs proper with good spark. And I've had this tipped on the side. Oh, I still got the spark plug off because that's how I had to kill it last time, of course. Because I had that zip tie. And I'm just going to let off it a little bit at a time to see how far it is till it goes off. So yeah, we have a good margin there. It's not right on the edge of cutting off every second like it was. So we are successful in getting it running properly. Okay, we have a running motor. Now let's take the blade off. Oh, nope. Before we do that, before we go blade, let's get this oil leak or whatever is going on down there. Ooh, that muffler's hot. I'm going to pull that out. See if that seal's even there or if it just shrunk, and then we'll just put some sealant. It could possibly splash out of there, and dirt could possibly get in there, and or water if you're washing it, or rain, or whatever if you leave your stuff out, which isn't recommended, but water could get in there and dilute down your oil, and you'd have a bad day. You just never know what you find if you look over everything. You know, you can get real short-sighted and just fix it just enough to get it running, but that's not really going to be the solution here, because other things are going to make this mower fall apart. Okay, I'm guessing that the seal is in there because this is not just coming straight up. So my guess is it's just shrunken down from the years. Yow, hot. Or is this tied into something? It is. Okay, we're going to have to take some stuff apart here. I just want to get that sealed up a little better for them. Not to take the same thing you've already taken apart again. Well, the good news is I already got all the tools out that I need. Let's see which one this is. This one? Yep. The tang for this goes down there. That's why I won't pull upwards. No need to take it all the way off. There's another bolt down there that you would have to do if you were going to do that. This is the one that holds it down. Oh, yeah. Well, whatever that O-ring, whenever that was... Actually, this isn't the right one for this engine, is it? Why would the O-ring be way down there if the lip is only very shallow? Yeah, I think Johnny Fix-It's been changing parts here. That's not even close. This O-ring is way lower than anything would ever be there. So this is from something else, I believe. We'll get her sealed up. All right, I cleaned up that area there, cleaned up this. I'm going to put a link in the description. Right Stuff gasket maker. This is not gasket sealer. You can actually make a full gasket out of this. And being that it is 1 minute, makes it a wonderful product. And it sticks really well. It doesn't, it won't flow down into your engine. It's going to stay as a ring here. It's not going to drop down into your components and get it all full of contamination. It's very, very adhesive. It won't run down like a lot of products could have. And I'm going to put that right there. Just put it right where it goes and plop her down. And she made a nice gasket. Look at that. And that's way better than a lot of products on the market. I'm not a stockholder, but I do believe in it. Then that little screw, where did that go? Bring it back. Found it. I had 4 of a kind, and I thought there was 4 in this. No, there's 3 in this, and then that one's the same. And that already is much more firm. So that's going to work perfect. Okay, I'm going to put all this back together, and I'll bring you back. Okay, I think we got a good running complete engine now. Just noticed that this is... The last time I put that down was on top, but not on the bottom. Can we make it happen? Yes, we can. Okay, I'm going to tip it. When I do, I'm going to tip it so the gas tank is pointed up and the carburetor is pointed up. I like using the mini impact, and let's see what size that's going to be. The mini impact just gives it a quick snap. You could do it with a wrench, but it's hard to hold the blade. While you're doing that, there are special tools for that. You can use a 2x4 to block it, whatever. And today, that's not going to be enough. We're going to have to go with the regular wrench or a bigger impact. I'm going to go bigger impact. Got you back here. Got a little more sauce on this impact, 1/2 inch. Yeah, it's just amazing what a good one can do. Actually, this blade isn't very bad at all. Very straight, but I am going to take. It's got a couple of nicks out of there, so we'll just dress it up a little bit. Doesn't need much. Over here, yeah, actually, it does kind of need a lot. So yeah, let's give it a quick grind, and we'll get the engine and cutting area checked off the list. Got you underneath the deck with me. What I'm seeing is a lot of grass that's gotten in, and that belt is up in there. And I wouldn't mind getting a look at that belt. That's for the self-propel. It should have a belt going around a pulley here. So being that there's so much buildup there, I mean, like a lot. Let's take this cover off and see what we can see in there. Check the belt, get all that debris out of there while we're doing this. The deck itself doesn't really need scraping. It's pretty clean. Nice even coat of grass there, but nothing clumpy, so let's leave it. Back to my small impact. One there. Was that it? No, I think I feel something over there. Can't quite see this. Make sure I got you in the shot yet. Or you got me in the shot, or however you want to discuss that. I feel a bolt there, but I also feel a lot of grass. What am I missing here? Let me figure out where the rest of the fasteners. Bring it back. I think that is another one we have to get. Whoops. 5/16, which I have misplaced again. No, that's for that. Maybe this one? And this one? Yep, there was those top ones. Oh boy, look at that. Look at that. And there's even more still up in there. And some there. Got all that cleaned out. The belt, it doesn't have any really pieces out of it or anything. It does look worn, but I think it'll be adequate for its purpose. Put this back up there. Try to hold that while I get my socket ready. Okay. Put all this little screws back in, bring it back. Let's get that blade back on. Get that star to line up. By star, I mean the shape of that. Just gonna check the length there. I'm holding on to the blade. It's a little bent, but these things go at such an incredible speed. It's double cutting everything anyway, so it's fine. Probably help with the mulching action, actually. Good. Now we got ourselves a running cutting machine. Now how about moving? Well, so as I just went to test the engine, I realized that that cable that I had put on there and everything, that kink that it had is all the way through the jacket, and it folds here when I try to activate the lever rod now. So I will have to replace that cable. But anyway, regardless of that, let's see if the motion drive grabs good and see if that needs any adjustment. Okay, it grabs good, but it's really not spinning the tires hard like I would like it to do. So let's get around here. I'll show you the adjustment. Basically, this is it. And you can unscrew this part here. And as you do, it pulls the cable tighter. Usually just a little tighter cable will get you where you need to be. And this part here, if it is supposed to be locking down on that, it does not. So I will have to put some sealant there so that thing doesn't re-thread back in. Let's see if that's enough to get me where I want to be. Yeah, that'll be good enough. I don't want to stress that belt terrible, but that's pulling plenty hard enough to pull the mower. Now the most recent thing I found is, you see how this is straight up and down and it's in the number 4 hole? Well, this also is in the number 4 hole, and it's well forward of that. Well, what I found was that whole bracket on the mower is loose, and that wheel looks floppy. So it's not going to cut even like that. So let's figure out what's going on there. So here's what we got going on. This thing's got a lot of slop, and on the back there's just 2 bolts, and they're just loose, and they've been loose for some time because I can see wear marks on the deck part. So let's see what size that is. Basically, we're just going to tighten them. And it's not half. Where is that 7/16 at? Here it is. I'll tighten that up, bring you back. Uh-oh, folks. More signs of Johnny Fix-It being in here. This one's loose as a goose. And this one is crooked and has obviously been replaced. Just a quick update. That cable assembly comes as both cables, and that's that door holder actuator thing cable and the engine kill cable comes all as an assembly. So I will be replacing that and putting back all those parts, the spring and the lever that holds the door open. I will be putting that back as factory because it comes all as an assembly, and let's just do the whole thing. That's all a mower has to do, ladies and gentlemen. So when the owner comes pick it up, I'll show him the proper angle. We should set the bolts down there to get that handle down. I'll have the new cable on by the time he gets it. And I hereby declare this one Wildwood certified. Thanks for watching.